Cheers, guys. Epyx911, welcome to the Elitist Geek. So again, kind of been offline for the last couple of days doing some computer upgrades. I'm one of those guys that is never quite happy with his gaming rig. I love gaming, but I definitely get caught up in times where, I don't know if any of you guys get this, but it's what I call kind of tweakitis. I will not only do an upgrade for my PC, but I will get right into it in terms of benchmarks, in terms of testing. I'll test it 10 ways to frickin' Tuesday and really not do a lot of gaming while I'm doing all of that, even though that's where you show them off. I mean, I'll go into a game, granted, right? But I'll spend more time downloading high texture mods, checking out the best settings, comparing them to other games, than just freaking enjoying the game. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So where are we at? Well, so the last 3-4 years, my video card cycle has gone something like 2 560 Ti's in SLI mode. Then I upgraded that for 2 660 Ti's. When did I do that? I got the 660 Ti's, I'm pretty sure, in 2012. Then I started looking at single card solutions, because where possible, I do like to get the best single card. My problem is I usually don't stop there, as I'll get a second of whatever that is. And case in point, when I had the 2 660 Ti's, you know, games like Crysis 3, Watch Dogs, etc., I wasn't getting the full frame rate. Watch Dogs is a whole other story. We can get into that because, yeah, not much changed after the upgrade. But certainly my other titles, like Crysis 3, I wanted to be able to run them max, you know, with all the settings. So what I did is I compromised. I did a short-term solution. I got 17970, thinking, okay, you know what? Sometimes it's nice to just have one of each. Best, not the best, but a really strong NVIDIA solution paired with a second gaming rig that has a really strong AMD solution. That way you kind of get the best of both worlds with drivers, etc. And I'm not really a fanboy of one over the other. Throughout the years, you know, when the video card manufacturers with their alphabet soup naming, like, you remember there was a 9800 for ATI/AMD now? And then, of course, NVIDIA ended up getting their own 9800 card, totally different technology, etc., etc. Same naming convention. And now you've got... anyways, just seems like they're swapping back and forth quite a bit, with the naming. So long story short, had the 2 660 Ti's on my main gaming rig. And then on my secondary gaming rig, I wanted to have one decent card. So this would have been last summer, so summer of 2013, I ended up getting a 7970 for my secondary gaming rig, which is in the basement. Primaries here in this extra bedroom, which is kind of like my guy room. So, and of course, I couldn't stop there, never satisfied. Watch Dogs came out, I had to upgrade again. I looked at the differences between AMD and NVIDIA, and granted, the 780 Ti for NVIDIA is the fastest card at the time when I was checking for a single card solution. It was very cost prohibitive. So I made a decision to go with AMD this generation, you know, or this specific moment in time for my main gaming rig. So first time in a while where both systems are AMD. Ended up getting the R9 290s. Not the X, the non-X, because for the $150, I honestly didn't see, I don't think the frame rate improvement that you're going to get on the X, considering you can overclock, etc., is worth it in the end. Totally happy with R9 290, but of course I couldn't stop there. I went Crossfire, because the same motherboard that I had the 2 660 Ti's on, it can accommodate Crossfire as well, so... I know, I'm an idiot, but I did it. I went with two R9 290s, and of course, Watch Dogs being the pile of poop it is at the moment, optimization-wise, still can't run at 60 frames per second solid when driving. So, but with that said, all the other games look freaking gorgeous, so sexy on the Crossfire R9s. So, which left me with two 660 Ti's. Now, I had upgraded my daughter initially from her single card solution to the two 560 Ti's. So I'll probably upgrade her again and give her the two 660 Ti's, because she's a pretty big into gaming as well. So yeah, so when I went with the R9s, the other thing, of course, that I had to do is upgrade my power supply. I had an 850 watt power supply, and under heavy load, the draw of the system with the two cards is over 850. So I think it was 875 when I measured it. So what I did is went with EVGA Supernova G2, I think it is. It's a 1300 watt power supply. It was $200. It was a good bang for the buck compared to some of the other stuff out there. The other 1300 plus watt power supplies were well over $300, 400, some of them approaching $400 and over. So I thought the EVGA for $209 was a hell of a steal. One rail, but I honestly believe one is as good as two. I don't buy into that hype. And what I like about the EVGA power supply is, and it's a trend with a lot of power supply manufacturers right now, is the color coding on the VGA cables, right? So your PCI Express 6 and 8 pin cables are a different color. So I think on this system they were red, and the regular SATA stuff, motherboard power, is black. So it's a cool way to keep them. And of course, it's modular. And I think anyone who's building their own system, modular power supplies are key. You can organize stuff so much better. You can install your power supply and just the cables you need, and not have extra clutter in there when it's not required. So I thought that was really cool. And yeah, what else did I get? And then, of course, I went for 3 monitor setup. So I'm just going to show you guys here. I'll take my webcam and just do a quick scan so you can see. So there we are. So I've got 24-inch 1080p, 27-inch BenQ 1080p. So sorry, this one here is an LG. Life is good. 1080p. The middle is a BenQ 1080p, but it's 27-inch. And then the far right is an Acer 24-inch 1080p. I've got them set up right now. It's an extended desktop, and you know, some people look at that and they're like, well, why would you need 3 monitors? Well, you don't need 3 monitors. You basically want 3 monitors. What I use it for is I play a lot of my games in seamless, borderless, windowed mode, right? So I can do that on the main 27-inch monitor while I have something streaming, you know, like WWE Raw, or something I don't have to pay a lot of attention to but can kind of stream in the background, World Cup soccer games, etc. And then another monitor I use for surfing. So if I'm in-game and I want to look something up, or an RPG, or the other use of it is chatting, right? Chat with my buddies on the left, game in the middle, stream on the right. Of course, I can also use Eyefinity because I've got Crossfire cards, so I can do certain games, support it really well. You can use stuff like Flawless Widescreen, which is an excellent utility. I'll link it in the body below. So games that were never intended to be played kind of, you know, in the Eyefinity, and it escapes me at the moment what NVIDIA's version is, but NVIDIA, of course, has their version of that too. But yeah, so what this utility does is games that don't support it out natively, it makes those games work, you know, with some tweaks. So that's kind of cool. So I tend to use the older games for it, because you're really, to use Eyefinity or NVIDIA's version, you're basically putting the game in the higher resolution, right? So you're like 5,700 pixels by you know, X number of pixels, right? Now, where that's important is a game like Crysis, which, yes, in Crossfire at 1080p runs 60 frames per second maxed, but as soon as you start going to, you know, the 5,000 by multiple thousand pixels, you're dropping into the teens territory. And indeed I was 15 to 25 frames per second. So I really limit the Eyefinity for older games, right? Like Skyrim is perfect. Even Far Cry 3 actually runs really well. And of course I've got everything. I've got a G105 keyboard. So I've got everything macroed using the G function keys here along the side. So I can switch into in between Eyefinity and Extended Desktop at the push of a button, which is nice. So that's my setup. Now, a couple of you are probably wondering. Let me just put the cable back here for the webcam. So some of you guys are probably wondering, well, why did you get the you know, a 27-inch 1080p? Why didn't you keep it the same? It'll be easier for Eyefinity, and there's some truth in that. Absolutely. Eyefinity, the way the game pans out, because ideally what Eyefinity does and NVIDIA is the left and right monitor kind of mimic your peripheral vision. So by nature, they're a bit more stretched. Of course, you can tweak it with, you know, your field of view settings in most games, but suffice it to say, the way I like to run Eyefinity is have the left and right monitor mimic my peripheral vision. So have stuff be a little more stretched out, right? And basically, say I've got a door on my right-hand side and another door in front of me. Ideally, I should have that door on my right kind of show up, you know, my last third of the right monitor panel. That's kind of how I like it. It mimics the human experience, you know, with vision. Not totally accurately, but close enough for me to enjoy it. Borderlands 2, fantastic. Another game that I highly recommend anyone who has 3 monitors play in Eyefinity or NVIDIA's solution, because it adds a lot to the gameplay. It really adds a lot to the gameplay. So that's one question. So I didn't even answer the question before I rambled. The reason I went with the 27 inch is not every game, even with patches and tweak programs like Flawless Widescreen, there are still games that don't support it. So I want the option, if I'm not playing in Eyefinity, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood for it. I just want to play one game and, like I said, stream and surf, right? But still benefit from a bigger screen. So that's why I went with the 27 inch, because I can make the Eyefinity mode work just by, you know, playing with the settings, and I've already done that, pre-tweaked everything. I've got the left and right monitor halfway, exactly halfway, you know, using a combination of books, and one of my monitors is adjustable. So they literally, so if the 27 inch is like that, my 24 inch sits right in between in the middle on either side, right? Which is good. So yeah, when I'm playing single screen games, the 27 inch just gives me a bigger screen at the same pixel resolution. Which brings me to the second question people are likely to ask is, why didn't you just go with a 4K monitor? Well, again, weighing all my options. Staying with a 1080p monitor gives me the flexibility for the Eyefinity, you know. It gives me the flexibility for the Extended Desktop. I realize you can mix resolutions. That's not an issue, but it's easier when you've got all your monitors running at the same resolution. The other thing is just my same experience with Eyefinity applies to a 4K monitor, and that is some games just, even with 2 R9s in Crossfire, are not going to be happy campers running at 4K. Crysis 3 is one such game. It just doesn't run at 60 frames per second on a 4K monitor. So if I did get a 4K monitor, I'd have a monitor that I couldn't do Eyefinity on easily. It wouldn't be able to run a lot of my games, yet you'd want it to still be your middle monitor. So it just went a little awkward. So what I'm going to do instead is I've also got a TV, a 1080p 46-inch Sony off to the far side. Here, I'll just show you as well, just super quick. So you can see there's the TV off to the side, right? So my thought was, you know what? When I'm ready to go 4K, what I'll do is I'll go 4K on the TV, right? That way I can hook up my computer to the TV. I've got a wireless Xbox 360 controller. I've got a nice lap-ready woodwork project that I built for mouse and keyboard, so I can sit on the couch in the back there and just as easily play on my TV without impacting the iFinity or extended desktop setup, right? So that's the plan. Yes, I'll go 4K, but I'll do 4K on the TV side of things, so that'll be pretty cool. What else? So I kind of just rambled about my tech there. I've Steam sale. What an awesome Steam sale right now. Let me just open Steam up here and just give you guys an idea of what I've purchased. So I got Arma 3. I thought that was a good deal. 50% off. That's a pretty good deal. What else did I get? I got, I'm just taking a quick look here. Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning. $5, 75% off. I thought that was a no-brainer. Yes, the company folded, but I'm a sucker for RPGs. And $5, even if it sucks. I'm not out a lot of cash, right? Dark Souls still owns me. Still got me by the short and curlies. So that'll be a game in the wings. What else did I do? I got South Park Stick of Truth. So that's on the to-play list. And what else? Oh, Sleeping Dogs. Wow. That is a freaking awesome game. If any of y'all like GTA style games and you have not played Sleeping Dogs and you're disappointed with Watch Dogs, get Sleeping Dogs. I can't praise it enough. It's got a lot of the same elements, like even some hacking, like Watch Dogs does, with way better performance. Granted, it's not keeping track of an inventory system for every car and person around you like Watch Dogs, which is part of Watch Dogs' slow issue, but that's another story. But Sleeping Dogs, yeah, there's a free DLC high texture pack, not even a mod, but like an actual, I'm pretty sure it was brought out by the company themselves. It's free. It gives you extra high defined textures. I think they're 4K downsized or 2K textures, but it honestly looks better than Watch Dogs. Like, I'm not making that up. It's freaking gorgeous to look at. And I don't miss Watch Dogs right now. It's everything I was looking for in Watch Dogs in a different game while Watch Dogs gets their shit together, right? Ubisoft, needs to patch that mofo stat. We need to have some performance things worked out. And then I'll go back to the game. But for now, wow, Sleeping Dogs owns my bones. It's smooth. It's never dropped below 60 frames on my rig. That's with everything cranked, plus those extra high-def textures. I play it on my Xbox 360 controller. I can't praise it enough. Definitely, if you can get... And sorry, I didn't get that game on the Steam sale. I got that game when I bought the R9s. You get 3... I think it's the Forever Radiant program. You get 3 games for free. So I got, with the 2 cards, 6 in total. I just used a different email address, whatevs. What was the other ones? I got Dirt 3, because I got a steering wheel I want to hook up again at some point. So, some really good games. I'm just really excited. I'm probably going to stop the video here. I'm almost at 20 minutes, guys. And I'll try to get another video up within the next couple of days and actually talk about some newsworthy stuff. But there's things on the personal tech front, kind of what I've done with my system and rig in terms of configuration. So let me know what you guys think. you know, if you suggest something else. Oh, and I got speakers, Edifier 2.1 set. I just wanted to have another set of speakers here because I was always using headphones, so it gives me a nice option, right? Sometimes you just want to get the damn things off your head if nobody's home or no neighbors around and it's daytime. I can just crank it on the main system. So there we are. As always, guys, till next video, cheers.